The member for Bowman.
Mr Speaker, children around the land for the last decade have been taught that the great future in jobs are green jobs. We've seen Prime Minister Howard's Green Corps, we've seen Tony Abbott's Green Army, but the true disgrace where we've seen green to the obscene has been the Rudd government and its triumvirate of ham-fisted failures in attempting to create jobs in the green sector. And we all know very well about how they managed to collapse the entire solar rebate scheme. That's history I don't need to go over. Number two, we remember how they then quintupled, not doubled or trebled, quintupled the renewable energy certificates on home solar rebates, and that caused a complete collapse in the price of RECs and loss of confidence in the system. And then, of course, it's now renowned, the famous home insulation program, where the government basically picked or plucked $1,600 out of the air and basically farmed $3-point-something billion into allowing, in many cases, anyone who could get hold of a ute and a couple of mates to drive out and solicit the opportunity to get into doors and put home insulation in. What have we seen? We've seen house fires, poorly trained installers, the tragedy, Mr Speaker, of 4 electrocutions, and one of those reported today, quite tragically, because of lack of training. And of course we have the anecdotes of people pushing insulation up through the manhole and then lifting a couple of roof tiles and pushing it back out again into the truck, driving off and collecting the $1,600. I mean, this is a program that is a disgrace for any government that runs it. But you might have thought, Mr Speaker, it couldn't get any worse, but alas, it has. We have the Home Sustainability Assessment Scheme, the HSAS. It will reverberate in your ears, members on the other side, for the next few weeks, because you have pushed not hundreds, but thousands of young Australians, small business people, part-time employed people, basically over the edge because of a program that was promised to run through to 2013 and is about to collapse in the weeks ahead. Now, there's another thing that you learn at school, that is, it's never good to get into a sector where the government controls both the supply and the demand, let alone the accreditation, but they will soon be learning it's not ever a smart thing to take a job in any opportunity run by Minister Garrett and his department, because what we have is not the promise from Senate estimates in 2008 of just 1,000 to 2,000 assessors being trained, but some bright spark in that department, Mr Speaker, deciding it might be a good idea to completely deregulate training altogether. And what have we seen? The stories filtering in from around the country. Training organisations shoehorning hundreds of people into auditoriums, 4-day courses becoming just a DVD in the mail, and now not 1 or 2, not 5, but 10,000 assessors paying up to $3,000, in some cases $7,000 for training and accreditation and insurance, for which no claims have ever been made. We have 200,000 houses assessed with an additional 22,000 every day. This scheme will collapse unless this government does something in the next month. Now, these people put their lives on the line. They expected some certainty through to 2013. No, they were promised an income by training organisations of $5,000 a week, incomes that will never, ever occur. And what we have here now is the reality that, far from listening to the warnings in August, let me read out an ABSA email sent to Minister Garrett's department 25 August. As we are fielding a large number of calls and emails from growing numbers of increasingly disgruntled assessors, we are recommending, as we have a responsibility to our assessors, that you cap the numbers from September 30, and that advice must go out September 1, to prevent overloading of both ABSA and the DEWA systems and to protect the work of the assessors currently trained. What happened? Nothing. Not until January did they finally wake up in that department. That's a very long Christmas holiday, Mr Speaker. Now, we've heard of pyramid schemes before, where those who get in first get something out of it and the late entrants get nothing. But what we have from this government was a GFC-induced panic to try and push as many people into work as they could, regardless of any obligations made in promises that they would in 2008 just train between 1,000 and 2,000 assessors. What we now have is the appalling collapse of the 4th scheme under this minister, Mr Speaker, and we're looking at $15 million being paid by assessors, many of whom will never recoup those costs. It's a disgrace. And what do we have in emails from January 27 or 22 and 29 from ABSA to its frustrated members who can't get membership? We're now holding 5,000 applications which are awaiting processing, which is counterproductive to take any further fees nor accept applications. There is no guarantee of any assurance of any particular volume of work. But in the end, all of your money will ensure you remain a member of ABSA and you will receive ongoing communications by email from us of further government programs. That is all that your government can offer these Australians, who many of whom came home from the GFC looking for a secure occupation and got nothing but the disappointment of a Rudd-generated pyramid scheme. Mr Speaker, you expect more from a government. Running through a crisis and controlling the economy isn't easy, but running a home sustainability assessment scheme should be.